Coffee's brewing, cameras ready, auction starts at 7 sharp. Old glass glittering on the table, trying to light that little spark. Got the buyers in the chat now, bidding up that ironstone. Then somebody drops a question, can I deduct my cell phone? It's the life of a life seller, trying to juggle every role, running auctions, packing orders, keeping records for the gold. It's the life of a life seller, building something of your own. And the CPA keeps saying, build a business, not the show. Sales are climbing, the room is buzzing, everybody's having fun. Then the quarter's almost over and the bookkeeping's not done. You got payouts, you got shipping, you got fees from here to there. Got a spreadsheet full of numbers, a slightly nervous stare. It's the life of a life seller, trying to juggle every role, running auctions, packing orders, keeping records for the gold. It's the life of a life seller, building something of your own. And the CPA keeps saying, build the business, not the show. Track your numbers, track your inventory, track the things that help you grow. Know your numbers, know your margins, know where every dollar goes. Because success is more than followers, more than bids and auction bells. The strongest sellers build a business, not just things they want to sell. It's the life of a life seller, turning passion into plans with a little vintage treasure and a ledger in your hands. It's the life of a life seller, and together we can grow with the CPF for life sellers, building businesses that show. Coffee's ready, cameras on. Let's build a business and then the show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. Hello, everyone. Normally, we do not play an intro that long. Thank you so much. My husband loves to play that any chance he gets. I think it's way too long for an intro. Intros need to be like short, short, short. But right when I was about to start go, I realized my coffee was like down to here, and I'm like, I need to go grab more coffee. And he's like, I'll play the song, gives you a chance to go upstairs and get coffee. I'm like, okay. Normally, I'm like, no, it's too long. But thank you so much. All AI. It was written using AI, and very country. If you don't like country music, I'm sure you were like cringing the whole time. It's too good to shorten. Thank you, mamas. He loves it. I'm just like, it's way too long.
Mama,
So-
I agree 100%. Good morning, everybody.
Hello. Thank you, Pooh's Pretties. All right, you guys. Happy Monday. Welcome in. I'm Zoe. I'm Tracy from Zoe's Treasures. In case you don't know, I will talk about it. Thank you. And my husband over there giving me instructions in the background is Noel. We've got a special kind of surprise for you today. I think I mentioned this, that we were going to do this last week, but behind me is our green screen. My alter ego is Zoe. Yeah, Zoe's actually the teenager. But I don't know if you guys have heard of the Serial Hobbyist. I have been screaming them from the rooftops because I think they are amazing. Anyways, I purchased an owl painting that I haven't shown you guys. I haven't, it's upstairs in, oh, it's a different painting. Oh, okay. Not the owl painting that I purchased. It's a different one. Anyways, we have a video of them making a painting. And while I'm talking today, I'm announcing your adoption. Yes, come on over, mamas. They are so good to watch. I love them too. So we're going to play a video in the background, and you'll actually see them creating one of their amazing paintings while I'm doing my show. So just a little extra entertainment there. And unfortunately, I'm stuck right in the middle of this. Maybe if I can scoot over a little bit. Let's see if I can move over just a tad bit. So while I talk to you, they're going to be painting in the background. So you'll get to see some of it there. But I'll just keep talking. We're going to do our normal thing, and you can have a little entertainment for a while in the background. When that's over, I got a few items to sell. Today, we're doing a continuation from Saturday. I have 5 gorgeous, gorgeous, elegant, and timeless pieces that I'm going to bring to you later on today. We're going to start changing this up too. Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm only bringing 5 things. We're going to call it like the Fabulous 5 or something like that. Our favorite 5, but we're going to just bring 5 themed items Mondays and Wednesdays. Thank you, Forgotten Memories. You know we're going to talk about it today. So, well, I'm glad you found us too. Hang out. Hope you enjoy the show today. 5 fab finds. There you go, Miss Ray Ray. I like that. Because this is the chat and sell, which you guys is far more difficult. Is anybody else out there do chat and sells? It is really, really, I'm finding it difficult to talk like a support, like a seller support type show, and to go into selling. It's kind of like it feels weird to switch back and forth. It's not kind of yeah. It's very hard to do a seller support chat show and sell at the same time. And I'm not saying that for props for myself. I'm saying because I'm struggling trying to find a good flow for it. So we're going to keep mixing it up until I get it right. But I like keeping it to about 5 items. Anyways, after the video, about halfway through, we'll pull those out. I do have some really cool items today. But let's talk about a few other things that are going on. We're going to get to the podcast last night. The podcast last night was on dollar starts and free shipping. So we're going to get there eventually. Your brain's reading, answering. Oh my goodness, yes. And even just in a normal selling show, your brain is doing all these millions of things, and it's hard to keep it all together. Before we get to anything else, I had the coolest thing happen to me yesterday. I posted, some of you may have seen it on Instagram. I know Southern Charm made a comment. I had a couple other comments. I got to share with you guys. Thank you, mamas. You know, I've been writing a book. I've been talking about it since January. I started writing a book in January. It is called Build the Business, not just the show. It is a book geared for live selling and really just about building that whole business underneath your show, not just hitting go live. You guys look. This is the first printed copy of Build a Business, not just the show. It is my rough draft, first like cold read through. So it is the first time I have seen it outside of a computer screen. Nothing fancy. I sent it to Staples to print, but it is now officially in a printed form where I can go through. You can already see. Hold on, see if I can find a page. I am marking it up. You can see all my little red marks on there. I am doing a cold read, going through and doing my final edits. And hopefully it's going to be in a paperback printed version, a real book for sellers. Yes, thank you guys so much. I'm hoping to have it in a printed version. My goal is October. It was January, so I'm way ahead of schedule. But it's coming. It's coming really soon. It's 12 chapters. I'll give you some of the chapters here. Let's see if I can get to my list of chapters. Give me a second. Let me find where All right, so we have chapters 1 through 12. The shift from seller to CEO, the weekly CEO meeting, separate the money, pricing with confidence, profit and cash, bookkeeping that you'll actually use, inventory, show structure, buyer psychology, buyer retention, scaling, and then full circle, bringing that all back together. So that's kind of the very, very high level. It obviously gets way deeper into it. So I'm super excited. It has been an absolute labor of love that I have been pouring into this for 8 months now. I write pockets. Do you? That is awesome. Thank you so much. I have always wanted to do a book. It's always been something I've wanted to do, but it's never been like, what do I write it about, right? It's not like I've lived this super exciting life to write my life story or something. And this just kind of came and it just materialized. So it would be good if it was ready by the meetup. That's kind of a goal, kind of a little goal there. I'm hoping. We'll see how fast I can read through it and edit it and get it actually printed. We're doing self-publishing, so who knows?
I'll wrap one up for Christmas, the bird theory,
A signed copy. You know, I will be.
and put it under the tree.
I will be doing signed copies when I do sell it. That will be part of the release. Good morning, everybody. Hello, Brandy. All right, you guys. So let's keep going. Tonight, I'm gonna pin this, you guys. This is I didn't do my back call. I should probably do that, but we're getting people in. Okay, let's see. Tonight is week 2 of the setting up your reselling business workshop. We're doing a 4-week workshop. Last week was amazing. It was really good. Last week we talked about business structure, the legal side of it, getting an EIN, setting up bank accounts. Tonight we're diving really, really deep into setting up your accounting system. What do you need to know as a brand new reseller for taxes, and kind of setting yourself up for success at the beginning of your reselling career for taxes so that you don't have surprises at the end. And we're talking about inventory management tonight. So if you are a new seller or you've been around a bit and you're like, look, I just want to refresh and make sure that I've got a good, strong foundation, highly recommend coming tonight. The way we are doing the workshops is you wrote 2 books and did. Oh, I love that, Mama. That is so nice. I love that. The way we're going to do the workshops is Mondays are free. Come ask your questions, enjoy the content. And then if you are interested in having unlimited access to all 4 videos, plus 4 to 5 resources a week, checklists, templates, extra information, a participant guide with area of all the notes and a place for you to write your notes and questions, that is down below. So I am selling those below. You do not need to buy it to attend tonight, though. You can attend and see it tonight. You just won't have access to watch it again. So that's that. Really, really good workshop. Highly, highly recommend, not just because I'm doing it, but because there's a lot of good information in there. And I'm going to throw on the back call just for a second here. Did we talk about last week? I couldn't remember if we talked about customer service coming pretty soon. If not, we're going to say, even if we did, I'm going to say it again. Customer service. Good morning to Serial Hobbyist. Check it out. Look what's happening back there, Serial Hobbyist. Y'all, right there in the chat, that's who we're watching doing a painting. So I don't remember if we talked last week about customer service coming, but September 1st, we are only about 3 weeks away. Every single seller is going to be responsible for their own customer service. Just keep that in the back of your mind. It's not difficult. It's actually a great thing. So keep that in the back of your mind that is coming. Be prepared for that. Yes, Mama. So Whatnot announced this a while ago, but with all the shipping changes and the other things on Whatnot, it's kind of gone under the radar a bit. We talked about it quite a while ago. It's coming though. So every single person every seller on the app will have their own customer service. It did get buried a ton. So it's going to be, you'll see it. There's like a little part of your inbox. If anybody files a claim, it's super simple. Basically, if you have a customer that has an issue of any sort, they do their normal thing. They go to their order, they click, I need help with my order. Instead of that just going off into Whatnot and you never knowing about it, it goes to Whatnot and comes routed to you. So it comes into your inbox. On your homepage in your seller hub, you get a little notification that you have a customer service support request. You can click on it, you open it up, and you see exactly what it is. You see whatever the customer sent, the message, what the reasoning is that they picked. So that just all comes to you. And then you have a chance to respond in whatever appropriate manner. Ask for more pictures, approve the refund, whatever it may be. So you get some options to do that. And if it's a USPS damage issue, you also can just click a button to have your claim filed automatically for you. Thank you. To have your claim filed automatically for you. And you don't have to do anything else. And it works. I love it. I love it because I am aware of every single thing that's going on. Thank you for your purchase from the bin. And I think it's great. Southern Charm, I'm doing my own customer service. Love it too. Me too. I wish I had it from the very beginning. Shalom. Let's see. We got a question. Has anyone experienced Whatnot automatically unbundling orders and then charging you, the seller? Shalom. My question, I haven't experienced that, but I wonder, do you have max shipping on? Do you have max shipping where it's $7.75 and Whatnot has determined based on the weights you're using that unbundling would be better? Because that's a case that you would get charged. If it's damaged in shipping, click the button and whatnot takes over from there. If it's damaged in shipping, you have to click to give them a refund because obviously that's the right thing to do. And then you click the USPS file a claim button. Yeah, and they do everything. You don't have to do anything. You'll get an email saying the claim has been filed. And a few weeks later, the money appears back in your ledger for that. So you get reimbursed. It takes a few weeks, but they do give you your money back if it's a USPS claim. So does Whatnot step in if there's no agreement? They do. I'll come back to that. Max is set, but the buyer was not charged shipping at all. Oh, Shalom, reach out to Whatnot. If Max is set, the buyer should be charged. Absolutely. So they didn't even pay the first $7.75. That's weird. So if a customer files a claim and you're like, this person's scamming me, this wasn't broke, they got it, whatever it is, if you're like, I totally do not agree with this, that this is incorrect, you can reach out to Whatnot and ask for assistance in solving that claim. So you still have Whatnot there. You have Whatnot as a backup. I can tell you, I've been doing customer service since the beta came out, probably over a year now, and I have not once had to have Whatnot step in. Not once. Most of the times when your customers reach out, it's really clear and simple. It's something broke, something's missing, something never arrived. It's usually a pretty clear-cut answer of you need a refund or you need a partial refund. That's really it is. Now, the downside, I'm going to come back to shipping here. The downside of that is you can't deny a claim. You can't just say, nah, you're a scammer, I'm not giving you the money. You can't. There is no like, I don't approve this button. You have to do something to resolve it. So if you get to that point, that's when you have to bring Whatnot in. So let's go back to the shipping. That's why people often pick flat rate over 5 pounds when doing max shipping now to prevent unbundling. That would make sense, Liz. I still don't know why Shalom, why they weren't charged at all. Are you sure you went in their orders and you sure they weren't charged the first $7.75 and then you were charged for the second box? I've seen some strange charges with shipping over the last week as well. You know, I would not be surprised. I haven't experienced glitchiness. We're going to talk shipping because I tried a new shipping setting I wanted to tell you guys about. I haven't experienced a glitchiness, but I would not be surprised. They just changed the whole system and the back end of it. It doesn't surprise me if there's somewhere in the computer system the paths aren't crossing right and there's some weird things happening. It would make sense that would happen. Not that we want it to or it's good. So if you're seeing it, definitely reach out to Whatnot and be persistent, you guys. If you're reaching out to Whatnot and you get the bot reply back, keep going, keep pressing for that ticket, keep pressing to get to that email stage where you're actually talking to a person. It's frustrating and it may take 5 emails, but keep at it. And you usually do get some sort of good resolution. So 75 orders. I've done 2 weeks of, well, obviously we've all done it 2 weeks, but I've done 2 big Saturday shows. And I've noticed a big difference. And I was super excited this Saturday. I even messaged a few people that I've been talking to on the side about shipping. So the first week, I set everything at 4 to 7 ounces. And I did ground and ground. So ground under 5, ground over 5. But everything, I do random pulls. It was 4 to 7 ounces. No bundling, no nothing extra, just that. It was okay. I paid a bit. I still saved money because of the 1 to 5. But it was like, okay. Then I heard about another setting that I tried this weekend. And I'm not going back right now. This is where I'm going. So this past Saturday, I sold 63 items. I forget how many boxes I have. I don't know, like 40 boxes or so. I had at least 3 customers that I unbundled into multiple boxes. One customer had 5 boxes, so it was a large order. It was all glass and breakables is what I shipped this weekend. The setting I used was a custom profile, and it wasn't my idea. I stole this from, who did I hear this from? Mrs. Big Papa Pump. I set up a custom profile where my first item was 4 to 7 ounces because that, having the first item Coastal, I'll talk about that. The first item for me doing 4 to 7 ounces charges my customer $4.50, which is what I do for shipping. And then I pick it up over there. So it's like pay once and you're free for my customers. So that's why I picked 4 to 7. That may not be the one that you need to pick for you. I picked 4 to 7 in a custom profile, 12 by 12 by 12 box. And I limited the number of items in the box to 79 items. I know 79 items won't fit. Just hang with me. I'll tell you why I picked that. I limited it to 79 items and I did every additional item at 1 ounce. Every additional item at 1 ounce. So that tells Whatnot that any customer can come into my room and pay $4.50, buy 79 things. It's all going to go into one box that's going to hit up to 5 pounds, so that I'm only charged up to $7.75. So during a show, unless a customer buys more than 79 items, I am not going to be charged more than $7.75. Then on the back end, when I go to ship, I can unbundle in the way that makes sense for me. So now, Coastal, I'm kind of coming back to that question. When I went to do shipping, so I'm going to take one customer, for example. One customer had bought multiple pieces, I don't know, like 12 pieces or so, and they fit into 3 boxes. So when I first went to do shipping, I did the Tetris game. I'm like, okay, this fits here, this fits here, this fits here. It was 3 boxes. They were 12 by 12 by 12 boxes. Do not go over. If you can avoid it, that's where it really starts to add up. So I did not do any oversized boxes. So I did the 3. Then I took each box and I stuck it on the scale to see how much it weighed. Every single box was over, it was like 90 to 110 ounces. So I put it on the scale and I'm like, okay, if this is 110 ounces, I went on to their shipment. I'm like, okay, 12 by 12 by 12, 110 ounces to this customer. And they were coming out to be like $17 to $20. It was really high. So I'm like, and I weighed each box and I did that. When I looked at each of those 3 boxes to that one customer, it was going to be around an average of around $18 per box. I don't want to pay $18 per box. I can break that in half and have 2 $7.75 and still save myself some money, right? And remember, the customer paid the initial $4.50 and I paid a little bit after that already. So I played Tetris again. I took an item out, looked at the scale, see what it did to that box, took an item from this one, rearranged the items, ended up with 5 boxes that were under 5 pounds, 12 by 12. That was cheaper to send than doing the 3 that were over 100 ounces each. So I really liked the shipping, this custom profile that I used. I felt that I had so much more control on the back end. And that it just limited what I paid on the front end and had a lot more control on the back end. I know some of you are like, wow, that was probably a lot of time. It took you forever. And, it does take time. But here's what I did. There's lots of onesies, twosies, and threes that fit into one box, no problem, nice and easy. Got those all out of the way. I had 3 customers that I had to play Tetris with. I piled them all, got them all together and just went through them one at a time. Now, some customers I sold 1 large item. I'm limiting myself on large items. I sold 1 large item. It was 8 pounds. There was no way that was unbundling. It was 1 piece. There was nothing I can do to make that less weight. It is what it is. I paid $13 for it. You can use this profile if you're not doing randoms, but you can. Yeah, absolutely, Swamp Chick. You could totally use this. You just need to, if you have individual listings, make sure that they're set, that the weight is set. I'm not too sure. So now I'm not a shipping expert when it comes to this. If you do a custom and you do every additional item at 1 ounce, and then you do your pre-listing and those are different weights, which weight rules? That question I don't know because I've never done that. I hope that makes sense. So if I have pre-listed items and they're all 10 ounces, but they are assigned to a custom profile saying each additional item is 1 ounce, which weight is not going to pick up? The 10 ounce or the 1 ounce? So which one is the ruling factor in there? But what is going on behind you? Robin's Rusty Relics. This is the Serial Hobbyist. So we have a video. They are actually doing a painting. So they do shows where they show painting live. Talented, extremely talented husband and wife team. And so we decided, just for a little entertainment value, that we are going to show them creating one of their paintings here. And just as a little entertainment value there. So we can watch and see what this ends up being eventually. This is really stressful. I have my first show Sunday and I'm trying to be prepared as possible. How do I change my items profile? The well-storied home. My advice, take it or leave it, take it with a grain of salt. You need to do your research and figure out what works for you. I would advise you, is this being your very first show, to do buyer pays all shipping, and how you list your items, list it with the actual weight of the item and whatever packing material you have. Whatnot system from there will bundle. Your buyer pays all the shipping. You will not be out money. This gives you a chance to do 2 things. 1, learn the system, understand how shipping works. Then 2, understand what that cost is if you were to do a reduced shipping. So Okay, Southern Charm says when we have that dilemma on the pre-listed item, oh, we use our shipping profile. I should have thought about that. Duh. Yes, you're right. So we wouldn't even put a weight in. We wouldn't put 10 ounces. We would just put the custom profile, whatever we called it. You're right, Southern Charm. It's the blonde. I'm just blaming the blonde. They do, Robin, they do this live. So yeah, you guys, you can you tag the Serial Hobbyist, please? If you guys are liking what you're seeing, they do live shows frequently where they chit chat and talk to you and paint. And then they even get the audience involved and they're like, should we put a boat here? What should we put here? Or sometimes they explain how they're creating an effect, like how they make the moon glisten on the water in the in the painting. So it's really interesting. If you want to chill, relax, just enjoy an evening, it's like Bob Ross live, but better. They are. So resale roost. Every time you adjust on the back end, if it's not covered by 1 year 5 free, you do pay for that. So the custom profile I'm talking about limits what I'm paying on the front end. I'm still changing everything I'm supposed to on the back end and paying appropriately on the back end. So pre-listed will roll because you put in, yes, thank you. Okay, I don't know. Now that you guys say it, I'm like, duh, Tracy, why did you think of that? Buyers will be okay paying all shipping. The World Story Home. We're actually going to talk about shipping today. We're going to talk about dollar starts and free shipping today. There is 2 trains of thought here. If you ask me, reduced shipping is always going to be better. However, there is a huge train of thought on Whatnot that if the buyer wants it, they will pay for it. As a new seller, as a brand new person on this app, good morning, Shop Happy, I would not suggest you do reduced shipping without understanding what that is going to cost you. And the only way you're going to understand what that's going to cost you is to do a couple of shows where buyer pays all, see the system, understand how it calculates, so you can make an educated decision on, do you want to do $12.99? Do you want to do $7.75? Do you want to do $5? You don't know where you should be setting your reduced shipping if you have no baseline, if you have nothing to compare it to. So whether people do reduced or not, I think it's great, but that's an individual business decision. But without a doubt, you have to understand the baseline first before making that decision for any one of us here. I tried it and ended up paying $43, so I went back to buyer pays all. I would ask 43, Vicki, what's the percentage of that to your total sales though? So 43 to some people may sound a lot. I just paid, 192 on Saturday, and that was low for me. That was reasonable. So you can't just look at the dollars. What percentage of that 43 compared to your overall gross sales was the shipping? And you don't have to share that. I'm saying we got to keep this in mind, you guys. 43 people are like, oh my God, I paid $43, or I paid $50, or Tracy just paid $192. Compared to the overall gross sales, it was a drop in the bucket. Shalom says, I've been experiencing with dollar starts, but not quite to the point where it sells for more than $1 yet. I actually end up in the red with shipping. So let's talk about this. We're going to talk about dollar starts free shipping. You guys, if you have not seen, Southern Charm says down to 6% in shipping. And what are you doing? $7 or $5? Where are you at with your reduced again? $7 reduced shipping, and every single show on average, it's about 6% cost. That's not much, you guys. You have to consider, and we'll talk about this when we're talking about free shipping, the incentive to buy. If people are spending less in shipping, they can spend more in buying your items. It outweighs itself, and you're going to go down again soon. And you don't. Let's go back. We're going to start from the beginning. If you haven't seen the Reselling Roundtable, we're on Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. on YouTube. It is a podcast. Myself, I Love Discounts, and Green 13. So we talk about all things reselling. We talk about Whatnot. We talk about the other apps, mainly Whatnot, since all of us, that's our primary platform that we use. Thank you, Coastal Peacock. There it is right there. If you're not following, highly suggest it. Every Monday, I usually do a little recap. I don't tell you everything we talked about because I want you to go watch it. But I do, maybe we'll bring some of my notes or things that I didn't get to say during the show to the Mondays. Last night, we talked about the myth of dollar starts and free shipping. Starting price and shipping are two of the biggest questions on this app. You'll hear it in every single chat show, people asking questions about it. Let's face it, that's kind of the core of what's happening when the auctions are going on. Great. Yeah, Sarah Hobbs. Hope you guys can watch. If you can't catch it on YouTube, we're on Apple and Spotify, Apple Podcast and Spotify too. The faster, look at this, the vintage gypsy breed, the faster I get to free shipping, the more I'm going to try to buy. There is a psychological component. You guys cannot tell me. I want you to think of your Prime memberships. For those of you that do Prime, Prime is, I would venture to guess that the majority of people that shop on Amazon have Prime, or you're using somebody else's Prime account. If it's not you, your kid's using yours, or you're using your spouse's, something, right? If you go to Amazon and you have an item that's on Prime, you're putting stuff in your shopping cart and you're like, cool, it's all free shipping. And then you get to something you want and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, this doesn't qualify for Prime. You've got to pay X number. To be honest, are you not going, let me go see if I can find that item under Prime? If you're honest with yourself, I can guarantee you, unless it's such a unique, super item that you are not finding it elsewhere, you're like, hold a minute, let's go see if I can find that for free shipping. Your buyers feel the same way here. They feel the same way. That is not unique to Amazon. It's not unique to any of these other sites that do free shipping. Why do you think when you shop at Under Armour or Nike, they always have, hey, spend $69, get this for free shipping. How many times have you been at $65? You're like, oh, I'll add on a pair of socks for free shipping. It works. All these huge retailers wouldn't be doing it if it didn't work. Yet we come here and we think, oh, we're small business. We're just these little potatoes. We can't do that. Yes, you can. If you think about it, you can. Now, does everybody want to do free shipping? Does it absolutely make sense for everybody? That's a business decision. Maybe, maybe not. There's times with me that it doesn't make sense to do free shipping. So I'm going to give you a little bit of my background, tell you where I've been with dollar starts and free shipping. And then I actually wrote 10 myths, 10 untruths about dollar starts and free shipping. And we'll walk through those. I love to hear what you guys think. So I started on this app, just like most of you guys, prices all over the board, $3, $5, $20, $15. I pre-listed my items. Nothing was uniform. And I did buyer pays all. Pretty quickly caught on, I need to do reduced. I went down to the $9.21 or whatever it was at the time 3 years ago. It was $8.71, whatever it was. So I did the standard reduced shipping. Eventually, I got to the point where dollar starts seemed to make sense. I see the value in this. I see what they can do. I switched to dollar starts with the reduced shipping. I lost money for the first 2 months on dollar starts. I've never hid that fact. I've never tried to gloss over it. I lost money for the first 2 months on dollar starts. Most things went for $1, $2, or $3. I ship breakables. By the time I packed it up and added all the packing materials, I lost money in those shows. What I gained were people coming into my shows, higher room counts. Slowly my sales started going up and it started building from there. I call this the Field of Dreams method. You build it, they will come. Doesn't mean they're going to show up on the first show. Okay. From there, from the dollar starts and the prices all over the board, I said, you know what? Let's go to free shipping. So at that point, though, I'm like, I don't know if I can do dollar starts and free shipping. Those two things combined are a little crazy. I went free shipping and I started doing $2, $3, $5 starts. I instantly saw a decline. It didn't help. It was this, people were like, wait, you were doing dollar starts. Now you're not doing dollar starts. What I did was confuse my buyers. Everybody was like, what the hell? What's going on? I don't know what to expect when I come to your show anymore. So I said, okay. When I did that, I also did the thing that most people do. If I'm going to free shipping, I need to increase my prices. 10 out of 10 do not recommend doing that. Anything I already had listed, I left at that price. But as I listed new things, if I would have listed it for $5, I made it $6. It wasn't drastic. I didn't bury a bunch of money in there, but I would add $1, maybe $2 to various items as I listed them. Guess what happened? My sales kept going down. It wasn't working, even with the free shipping. Was I making sales? Yes. Was I making as much? No, it wasn't clicking. Something wasn't there. So I said, forget this. I hate pricing. I hate the decision fatigue. I hate the mental, the thinking about it. I hate the research, the time it takes. It's a lot. If you think about the time and the effort that you put into pricing your items, monitoring those prices, figuring out if you need to mark it down. Do I put it on flash sale? Do I not? Is this the right price? Is it not the right price? That's draining. I said, screw this. Dollar starts, free shipping. I did it for 6 months on vintage decor, all sizes across the board, glass, swung vases, pottery, you name it. Yeah, pricing is the worst. I hate pricing. You know what I saw when I went to Dollar Starts free shipping? Number one, all barriers to buying were removed from my room. Just about any single person on Whatnot can come into my room and feel incentivized to swipe because it was a dollar start and free shipping. What risk is it to the buyer to swipe on that? The minute somebody swipes, the psychological effects of the endowment effect, phantom ownership kick in, and they continue to swipe. When I went to Dollar Starts free shipping, I instant incline. You see those graphs that go like this and then shoot way up? That was me, shot straight up. More people in my room, higher bids, more people bidding, more engagement in the room. I made more net profit than I had ever made on Whatnot in the preceding year and a half. 6 months straight, I did free shipping, Dollar Starts. Best 6 months I've ever had on Whatnot. Come January of this year, or December of last year, I was going to go into other categories. I said, okay, I need to reassess my business model. I'm making great money. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to take a step back. It was shot straight up at around the 4.5 month mark. It plateaued. Now, it didn't go back down, but I saw my sales in it and my room count, everything shot up, and then it kind of plateaued and stayed even. I'm okay with even. I was making good money. I'm okay with even. But come January of this year, I said, can I tell you how much my best show brought in? I don't know. What was our best show? I'm trying to think of what our best show was. 12, around 12 to 15, somewhere in there. You got to keep in mind, I only sell about 60 to 70 items a show. I'm not selling, 400 items a show. I'm not a, do $7,000, $10,000 a show person. That is not who I am. Good pricing is an outgrowth of product knowledge. If you're struggling with pricing, learn your product and cost. To some degree, his and her shop, there's a lot of mental energy that goes into pricing. Doing dollar starts, yes, that was with dollar starts. Doing dollar starts removes so much decision fatigue, removes so much mental energy. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more. So let me finish the story here, get back to so we can get up to today. Come January, I decided I'm going into jewelry. I'm diversifying my business in order to draw funds to put towards a new category, buy new product, buy sterling silver. I pulled back on free shipping, went to $4.50 shipping, poured into a new category. I can tell you exactly why it didn't work. I tried it for 3 months, ended up not seeing any success, no traction, and I pulled back out of that category. And I've been just kind of keeping it at my $4.50 until recently. Last month, I started Tuesdays, free shipping Dollar Starts. Every Tuesdays, I Spy Vintage, free shipping Dollar Start show. I'm going back into my Dollar Start era. Or not Dollar Start era, sorry, free shipping era. What I want to say is, and I kind of gave you that whole story to demonstrate that I've done prices across the board, Dollar Starts with free shipping, Dollar Starts with reduced. I've done it all at different times. So I'm not just speaking like, oh, somebody said this, so I'm going to do this. I'm talking from my experience. That does not mean my experience is going to work for you. I'm just bringing to you what I experienced so you have a point of view on it. Free shipping is not the answer to everything. We're going to talk about the myths. I used to sell heavy items under free shipping. I would limit the heavy items. One of the things you need to do in reduced and free shipping is take a look at the items you're bringing to the table. If you, as the seller, are covering any of the cost of shipping, you should be very selective in what you're bringing to the table. Understand that a customer may buy 10 of those items. What does that entail if they buy 10 from me? What does that look like? What if I sell just one big thing? You have to be very conscientious of what you're bringing. That's picking out that product selection and what your lineup is for a show is part of how you make free shipping and reduced shipping successful for you as a seller. Would love to do free shipping in Canada, but base shipping costs yeah, that's crazy. The Canadian shipping, you guys think that our shipping gets crazy sometimes? Canada shipping, and then try going from Canada to the US, it's almost impossible. I mean, not totally impossible, but it's almost like it's so price inhibitive that I feel for you guys in Canada. Yes, everything is printable. Shipping does cost me. Absolutely. And part of, I think that's, besides the pushback, that's why they tried to keep some of the flat rate, even though for us vintage people, flat rate, not a lot fits into those boxes. What I want to say, when we're doing free shipping, I'm not doing free shipping across the board. I'm doing it just on Tuesdays. This is a business decision. And I mentioned this last night. I'm like, I'm really surprised nobody's asked me why I only do free shipping one day a week. I'm going to tell you whether you want to know or not. I'm going to tell you. If I start with BPA for first show, do I use the weight of the item alone for its profile? The item plus packaging. Always put your item plus packaging. When you're doing a buyer pays all, include the weight of the box and the bubble wrap and whatever else you put on wrap around it. I do different types of shows. Free shipping works in certain circumstances. One of the conditions to help free shipping work is having, I'm going to say a volume of sales, but when I say volume, I don't mean hundreds. So tomorrow's show, I'll sell about 70 to 80 items. That helps people who do multiple purchases. So I'm not paying $7.75 for every single item. If I only sell 5 items, like in today's show, I do 5 items, there's a good chance that's going to be 5 different people buying those items. So free shipping in a show like today doesn't work for me as a seller. It's wonderful as the buyer, but I see that, thank you. It doesn't work for me as the seller. So I have to consider both sides of this, because I'm not offering free shipping just out of Tracy wants to be so kind and wants everything for the buyer. I need to have some benefit out of this too. It needs to be a win-win for both of us. That's what makes it a good business decision, that it makes both of us have some benefit in this. Let me answer some questions and we'll go back. I think there's a lot more push to be 3 ounces and under items on this platform. Royalty comp, definitely under 5 pounds. Definitely under 5 pounds. But different shipping options are coming. They are coming. Some people are in the betas already for UPS, and it's nothing we can sign up for. They're very far and few between. Select people. Whatnot is talking to other shippers. It will get here eventually. I did a test free shipping day on free commission day, ran everything at 11 ounces and $3 starts. The only drawback is when we're going to talk M and B vintage. We're going to talk about the one item purchases. Do you sell? Yes, I do. I sell very expensive items on free shipping. I did a bougie for $1 show. Did I do free shipping on that show? I don't think I did. But I do sell. I'm going to sell a really great vase today for free. Well, no, today's $4.50. Tomorrow I do. Let's talk about this, because this is what I'm getting into on when I decide to use free shipping and when I don't. Do you suggest a different bank account? Absolutely, 100%. That's the first thing you should do, is set up a separate account. 100%. Okay. When I look at free shipping for a show, this show where I'm going to sell 5 items today does not make sense for me. It just doesn't. It's only 5 items. The odds are 5 different people are going to buy it. I'm going to pay too much in shipping. That's not a win-win for both of us. Tomorrow, when I'm doing 70, 80, 90 items, and I'm going to handpick those items to be lightweight, to hopefully be under a pound, as many as I possibly can. Doesn't mean all of them will, but I will be very selective. And I'm selling enough of a quantity. Again, it doesn't have to be hundreds, 80 items or so. Free shipping makes sense. Saturdays, you'll say, okay, well, if you do it on Tuesday, Tracy, why don't you do it on Saturday when you're selling 80 items on your theme curated shows? Here's the difference. Saturday shows are about quality. Saturday shows are my big curated shows. My focus when I'm looking at the items that I want to bring to that show is increasing my average order value as high as possible. In order to increase my average order value means I need the highest bids as possible, which translates to the highest quality items. My main goal on Saturday is bringing the highest quality, unique items that I can bring to you. If I were to put free shipping in that show, my mind would then have to balance between high quality and size. I don't want to do that balance. I want to focus only on high quality. And if it's a little bit bigger, it doesn't matter. I don't want to worry about size. So Saturdays, I do $4.50 shipping, and I can solely focus on quality. Where tomorrow, the focus is on size. It's on bringing you products that are nice. I'm not saying bring crap, never bring crap, but bringing nice things. But I'm not so focused on getting the highest average order value. I'm focused on the experience of obtaining customers, bringing people into my show, having a good time, making sales, and giving you the best deal possible, I can focus on the size portion of that. So free shipping makes sense there, but not on Saturday. I hope that makes sense. And trying to think through the business purposes on where something would make sense for free shipping and possibly where not. Now, this is for me selling vintage. This is going to look very different for you selling clothing or jewelry or sports cards or whatever else. Books could look very different than my perspective selling vintage. Even as a first-time seller in show, I would never recommend a first-time seller do free shipping, reduced shipping, or I don't recommend dollar starts. Other people may say yes. I say no. You need to understand your numbers first before you make decisions like that. The serial, I know we're watching the serial hobbyist create a painting, and this is just the beginning. It's just taking shape. It's taking form back there. So those of you just coming in, I'm not the serial hobbyist. I'm Tracy from Zoe's Treasures, but we highly admire the serial hobbyist. So we decided to do a little entertainment while we talk. So when you're thinking about, and those same concepts that I just talked about for free shipping apply to reduced shipping. You don't just go into a reduced shipping or a free shipping just because, oh, I heard everybody say it gets you more sales. I heard some big seller say that 70% of people want reduced shipping. That's why I need to do it. That's not a business reason to do it. You do it because you analyze your numbers and you're looking at your products and you're looking at the type of show, the length of show, and deciding what works best for that show as part of your overall strategy. I don't need that. Thank you. I'm not doing that today, but thank you. I appreciate it. It's okay. So I'm sorry, you guys, I got to take a drink. So you have to think through it from a business perspective, not just everybody says it's good. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. But does it make sense for you and does it make sense for what you're doing? It is no different than when I talked about pre-listing versus random. There's not one that it's right or wrong on either side. What are you trying to achieve? This is also another part of when I look at raid trains. I'm doing a raid train Friday night. I'm not offering free shipping in that raid train. It doesn't make sense. The time is too short. The number of items I'm going to be selling is too limited. It's not a win-win for both of us. When you make a business decision to the most extent possible that affects your customers, that should be a decision that benefits you and them. Not just one-sided. If it's just benefiting them, you're hurting yourself in profits. Why are you doing that? Why are you in business if you're hurting yourself in profits? If I make it just for me and benefiting me, what encouragement for them is there to buy from me? When I do apparel fabric shows, I have to do buyer pays all because the fabric is so heavy. I'm just starting out and I wish I could do. And that's totally okay. I mean, I did. Thank you. I did. It goes back to looking at what you're selling. What is the show structure? What is your ultimate goals with this? Part of free and reduced shipping is buyer retention, is buyer acquisition and retention. Part of what you're paying for in reduced and free shipping is marketing. It's getting people to stay. It's getting people to come into your room, to stay in your room, to buy from you. So getting those first-time people so they can experience the quality of your items, the way you ship, so that they can come back. You have to wrap your head around the fact that it's not just all shipping. It's buyer retention, buyer acquisition cost also. Normal things as part of business. You are already, those of you doing giveaways, those of you dropping things in boxes, those of you paying for sponsorships in other people's rooms are already paying that exact same money. You're just doing it in a different way. Random is mentally exhausting for me. Pre-listing takes more time initially, but easier in the actual show. There you go. Whatever works for you. I think it depends on what you're trying to achieve. That's how I always view it on what am I trying to achieve. I will pre-list in a raid train because it's a limited time and I want to focus on the items that I know people want in a short amount of time. I have gone away from pre-listing in my shows because I'm going to sell everything in my show eventually. I'm only on for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours tops, and I'm going to sell it all. I'm not going to, run out of time. So that's how I look at if I'm pre-listing or not. What works for the show that I'm doing? I've been looking through the shows to see who has reduced shipping on thumbnail, and it seems that I'm seeing fewer than before. Reclaim Vintage, I am not surprised. People freaked out with this. People freaked out and said, oh, everything is over 5 pounds. I can't afford to do this. There was a drastic reduction of reduced shipping the minute these shipping changes went into effect, which I think is probably one of the worst business decisions that could have happened. Now's the time to double down. Now's the time to show everybody I'm in this for the long haul. 1 to 5 pounds for those of us that ship things between 1 and 5 pounds. Overall, we have seen a reduction in our shipping costs. What better time to take advantage of a free or reduced shipping than when there is a reduction in shipping costs? Instead, we freak out and say, well, if it's over 5 pounds, it's costing me too much. Change your product. Be more selective. I used to bring 5 to 8 bigger items every single show. I'm not doing that anymore. You know what? They're waiting. They're sitting here. They're going to be sold as soon as they bring in a new shipping option. Do I like the fact that they're sitting on my shelf in inventory? Not at all. But I also know that if I'm going to continue to offer and make that benefit for both the buyer and myself, then I'm going to have to be more selective in what I'm bringing to my shows. Okay, so let's start here. I'm going to go through, we're going to start talking about the myths of dollar starts, free shipping. We're kind of go back and forth between those two. Pre-listed items sell for approximately 30% more when tested over 1,000 items. So his and her Chicago shop. I think this is a really interesting statistic. I would love to dig into that more so. I don't know if that's just yours or if that's Whatnot across the board. I know Whatnot pushes for the pre-listing because they're hooked up with Google. It's all the SEO things, searchable, bringing people to the app. I understand it from a business perspective. I have not seen a decline or a difference in my gross sales between pre-listed and not. So personally, I'm not seeing a difference at all between the two. So I would love to see more of a study and what is the population that they're looking at, and just the curious side of me wants to see more. You did it on your sales. You also sell higher end items. That could be a different. You sell very more rare, unique glass. Some of it's some common glass, but you also sell the more collector pieces versus people buying for resale. I think there's a lot of variables, and to have a controlled study would be very hard, but I would be so interested in seeing something like that. With pre-listed items, you can also obtain buyers who cannot be in your show. Therefore, they can bid. You can also scare people away. There's a pro and a con to everything. I'm not for or against. I'm going to point out both sides. Think about the con to that. So the pre-listed, the pro to it, yeah, they're there. If I can't be in your show, I can go in and put my max bid in and still have a chance at winning the item. That max bid can also deter somebody else from bidding. Particularly if you're a low start person and you start everything at $1 and something's already bid up to 20 because you pre-listed it. If I come in and see it's already at 20, I can already feel like I don't have a chance at it and not even try. Whereas if it was just brought on screen and ran for the $1, I would be swiping right away and get hooked, and those psychological factors would start to kick in, and I might swipe a little bit more to try to win it, therefore driving the price up even higher. Pre-listing can limit the ultimate outcome of what you're getting. It also could encourage people to bid. So there's pros and cons to it. It goes both ways. Everything has an offset. And you just need to figure out where it is in your business that you fit.
Reclaim Vintage, that's part of the new system for the points that Whatnot introduced. Is they're releasing it to everybody. I don't know if they released it already to everybody on the platform, but you'll get it eventually. Maybe you need to do an update on the app. And then you can earn points by doing different challenges and add different colors. We don't see it because we run on a computer and it's a little distracting. So we like it on the computer. That is just the old fashioned way.
Yeah, over here on my iPad, I'm seeing all the colors and stuff, and it would drive me nuts to try to read it. Okay, I've had many buyers say they shied away because they saw what the pre-bid was. It does. I mean, there is good and bad to all of this. And his and her Chicago shop, I love that. So you were looking to cut your labor cost by possibly not pre-listing, saving your time of the photographing, the listing, and all of that, and decided that it was worth it. This is what I'm talking about, everybody. His and her Chicago shop did just what all of us need to do as business owners. Looked at the data, made an educated decision for your business based on your data. I get misunderstood or misrepresented a lot of, she will always tell you to do dollar shipping, or she'll always say do dollar starts free shipping, or this or that. No, well, that's what I choose. I think everybody should do exactly what his and her Chicago shop did. Look at your data, figure out where you're going, match your data up to your goals, and make the best decision. Understand the pros and cons of everything, and make a decision appropriately for your business. How would people know you have that banger item when running a random? Because I show it on the screen. Because a picture is great, a description is great, but me telling you about it is even better. I did dollar starts with reduced shipping only because it was a celebration show. It had good sales, but some things were lost on. I wouldn't do it like as a whole or as a newbie. Definitely not as a newbie. Are you going to lose money on certain items when you do dollar starts? Yep, 100% you are. Do I still have things occasionally go for $1? Sure do. Do I have things way bid up? Absolutely. You can't look at individual items. You look across the board. We're going to talk about that. That's one of the myths we're going to get into. I have looked in shops before joining the show and didn't go in if I didn't like it, but can go in random show and get caught up in bidding. The pre-bid people will be tempted to bid more. The other buyer will not be there for that item potentially because it's not pre-listed. Possibly. There is no right or wrong. It's you, again, understanding how they work, being educated about all of the factors on pre-listing, dollar starts, free shipping, reduced shipping, anything else on this app, and then making that appropriate decision. Yes, his and her shop, I think that, or no, sorry, High Street. I said his and her is High Street. High Street, I think that's very important. You need to understand who your customers are. Collectors will be willing to pay more in shipping than a reseller. It's not part of their cost of goods. Understanding your customer base is part of that decision-making process in how you're pricing, how you're setting up your shipping, 100%. I hardly ever watch random shows unless it's a specific theme. I don't have time to watch. Makes sense, yeah? Do you think $2 starts are as attractive to a buyer as a $1 start? With $1 starts, do you lose a percentage of your profit? I don't. I make more money doing $1 starts than I do any others, and I think $2 is fine too. What I always say is low and even. Go as low as you possibly feel comfortable going and keep it at one price. I will never, the hill I will die on is I will never recommend varying prices. I don't think it's good. I think it's confusing to the buyers. I think it goes against the auction mentality and the expectations in an auction. You will get higher, more consistent bids with an even pricing model. And that's one of those things that I'm absolutely 100% stuck on. You can put videos up. Okay, let's talk about the first myth here. I hesitate my first swipe in a random show because I do not want to pay shipping for one item, only if it's a creamer. So here we go. Combine the price with the shipping. Let's make it even more attractive. Dollar starts, free shipping. Dollar starts always lose money. This one gets under my skin. How many people have seen on a Facebook market group or even in a show, somebody brings up that damn stupid chart where it shows $1 gets you 30 cents, $2 gets you this, or throw that damn piece of paper away. Just rip it up and throw that freaking thing away. It is not about the individual item. Get your eBay mindset and go back to eBay with it. This is whatnot. You look at a total show. You do not look at each individual item. That's the problem right there. The people who are like holding this chart up, you will never be successful looking at that chart and doing dollar starts because you are too caught up in the mindset of each individual item. That is the first thing you got to get rid of. It is on averages. So you can't, if I was so concerned about every single item, I couldn't do dollar starts. Never in the world would I do a dollar start if I was too concerned about that. But if I want to maximize the profit, if I want to squeeze every last little dime out of an item, there's Etsy, there's eBay, there's Mercari, there's Poshmark, there's whatever other site out there. There's your marketplace. Go stick it in your marketplace and watch how long it sits on your shelf. If that's what your goal is, and I'm going to go back to what I talked about last week, that's a boutique mentality. You want to be a boutique seller, you're going to need to source less. You're going to need to be willing to have it sit on your shelf, and then you can squeeze every dime out of it that you want, but you're not going to be making as many sales. Don't come and ask why you're not high on the algorithm, why people aren't staying in your shows, why you're not getting as much sales, because you're boutique. Does Louis Vuitton sell as many purses as Nine West? Not really. They sell less at a lot higher cost. It's boutique versus a more standard common item that is flipping over and over and over. That's the difference here. And only look at averages. You should go stick that in your I love that. I'm going to give you a shirt that says that. Go stick it in your marketplace. You also need to know your numbers. Dollar starts don't always lose money. You need to understand your numbers. This is why I never recommend it to newbies. Last night, my associates, my counterparts had different opinions. I don't recommend newbies doing dollar starts. Know your numbers first, then do dollar starts. It's part of making a good decision. And then here's the big one, you guys. We get so caught up on, if I get the right shipping and the right price, I'm going to be successful. No, you're not. That's two pieces of a much larger puzzle. Yeah, the algorithm loves dollar starts? The activity. How hard is it for somebody to make a decision to spend $1 versus a decision to spend 10? You do dollar starts, people are going to start swiping. What is the algorithm like? People swiping. What happens then? You go up on For You feeds. And then you add in a cheap shipping to that. One of the things we saw, I want to know, everybody who has done dollar starts and are drastically reduced shipping. I'm not talking $7.75. I'm talking free or a couple of bucks. What happened to your sell-through rate? What happens to your sell-through rate when you do dollar starts and cheap shipping? Are your shows selling out? Through the roof. If you guys don't know what sell-through rate, that means everything you bring to a show, what's the percentage of items that sell? I'm at 100%. Rarely do I have something sitting on my shelf. Rarely. And it's been that way for a year now. Every single show. I don't load or run to sell out. So that's more of a boutique method approach. Taco Cat, I sold 250 still packing. That's great. When you do low starts, you are selling out. Again, it goes back to what is your strategy? What is your goal? What is it that you are trying to accomplish? I don't want my inventory sitting here forever. I want to buy it for a show, bring it to a show, sell it all, pack it, and bring new stuff next week. That's how I run my business. If I wanted to bring out the same item multiple times and list it, it would be a completely different business model. I wouldn't be doing dollar starts free shipping. It would be a completely different business model. But when you do dollar starts, your sell-through rate is going to go through the roof. It's going to jump up drastically. I do $2 starts every day and almost always sell out. It's the theory of low and even. It works. So do you judge? I want you to think about this, because the people who say, oh, if you do dollar starts, you lose money. Do you judge the success of a show by one item? Or do you judge the success of a show by the complete show? Because even the people who say, oh, you lose money, you only get 30 cents if you do a dollar start. If I go into their show and say, oh, your show, I do free shipping on Tuesdays. If I just started selling, I've had 2 shows so far. I didn't realize that the boxes would all be 12 by 12. Is there a good place to buy these? You can go and search boxes, but anybody, if you have recommendations, Uline, WB Mason, The Boxery, Amazon, there's a ton of places. I would suggest doing some price researching, because depending on what area of the country, it's going to affect the shipping cost for you, and seeing which one works best for you. The same people who say, oh, you only get 30 cents if you sell it for $1. If I went into their auction and if they sold something for a low price and I said, oh, that was a terrible show because you sold one item for a low price, they would be like, no, that doesn't make sense. It was one item. Well, you know what? Same thing with my show. Same thing with a dollar start. If I sell one thing for $1, does not mean that my whole show as a total is not a successful show. Granger is another good one. It's a complete show. It balances out. Okay, 257 items is 16 hours shipping. I have no desire to do that. I'm with you. That's why I don't sell 257 items. That's why I limit. I am doing glowy glass on Saturday, all glowy glass. I will not go above about 55 items on glowy glass. I just don't. I know how long it's going to take me to ship it. You can get on Amazon for $1. They are all over the place. Yeah. You get where you get the boxes, there's not one that's better than the other. Some of them, the shipping is going to be cheaper just because you're closer to them and it makes more sense. Oh, let's take a look at this. Look at that painting that whole time. Look how gorgeous that is. We've just watched them do. Look at how the light, I don't know if I can see. I feel like a weatherman. The light shines against the water there. Y'all, highly recommend. Okay. The next myth.
And just to top it off, I didn't do the video this one, but I'm gonna show you the one that they just did yesterday.
Oh, look at that one from yesterday. If I can get out of your way. That one's so cool. We watched them do that one yesterday.
And it's
Okay.
not done yet. They're gonna continue.
Royalty comp, I agree. Don't ship in cereal boxes. You guys, I was the one saying don't go chasing free boxes. I pulled back on that some. I understand that's the phase some people are in their businesses needing to go get free boxes. But it is your business. Just still realize that you're representing your business. Cereal boxes, sending your nice item in a Fruit Loops box, does that send the right message that you want to send to your customers? What's $7.75 shipping up to 5 pounds? What is the largest? 12 by 12 by 12. Jules, the shipping is always based on 12 by 12 by 12. The minute you go over those dimensions, there is an upcharge. No, it doesn't mean it has to be in a 12 by 12 by 12. That just means that's what that shipping is. The price is determined by the box size that's used to determine that price. If you go over that, you have to change a box size, and there is additional charges for going over those dimensions. If you go under, you should still change it. If you go under too, because it's coming. Just eventually, they're going to make us change it going down too. So just get in the habit of changing it. It makes it easy across the board. That's just the standard size that prices are developed from. I've seen an item sell for $80 on a big seller show, and I can't sell the same thing for $5. I just don't get it. The exact Delta Martin, it's the experience. It's the experience. It's the trust and the experience. That's why you're not getting the same price. You have to build up to it. Cereal boxes, reusing nice small. Yeah, I reuse if they're decent. I have no problem with reusing boxes, as long as they're still sturdy enough and secure enough for my items. And it seems that there is no correct collected home market. You have to go 12 times 12 times 12 is what, 1720, 1728. So that's dimensional. That's a dimensional size. If you go over that number, that's when the upcharge comes in. So you can do a 14 by 12 by 10 is the same as a 12 by 12 by 12. 16 by 10 by 10 is the same as a 12 by 12 by 12. Okay. Free shipping is expensive. This is another myth. Free shipping is expensive. Are you going to spend money on free shipping? Absolutely, you're going to spend money on free shipping. But how much are you spending on other things already? And additionally, you have free shipping, you're spending money here. What is the increase of the bids that you are getting? So if you look at the increase, what is the additional spending that you had, the additional gross revenue that you received as a result of that free shipping? And what other money are you already spending that can be poured into that free shipping? You can end up really not costing yourself any more with free shipping. You have to understand your numbers, though, before you can make that decision. I did take your advice and do the dollar starts and saw bidding wars. It was a Pyrex Corningware show, and it was amazing. Thank you very much. I love hearing those success stories. So you just touched on my earlier question. We're going to eventually be charged if we're a few ounces underweight. Right now, I don't think they're doing it if you're a few ounces under. Yes. Yeah, you will be. So if you put it in at 7 ounces and it's actually 14, they will charge you because there's a difference. It's a different price band. So yes, you will be charged. Eventually, it's going to show up. Right now, it may just show up as a carrier adjustment with no charge to you, but eventually, yes, it's coming. If I had to do either free or reduced shipping versus low dollar starts are the way, because that's an immediate easy thing. That would be my first. We actually talked about that question in depth on the Reselling Roundtable last night. So I highly recommend go watch it. You'll get 3 of our opinions on that. But I would do lower starts first and then work down on my shipping. I have sold over 5K items, 5-star reviews, great comments regarding my show experience. However, never get more than 20-ish people in the room. How to build? 20-ish people is pretty darn good. 20 people. How many people here would be happy if you got 20 on a regular basis? 20 is good. You know how you build? Be consistent. Be consistent. Same day, same time, over and over and over again. Give them the same experience every time they come, the same shipping. Be committed to it. Don't reschedule shows. Show up when you say you're going to show up. They do that over and over and over, and people start showing up. If you offer, I don't understand how that's legal. So Swamp Chick, I'm talking about if you put less weight and it's actually more, they're going to charge you because you didn't put the right weight, unless you're talking about it the reverse. The reverse, I agree with you that it shouldn't be right. Boomerang, if you offer free shipping on low weight, can you just put stamps on the package? No, you have to use Whatnot shipping. You always have to use the Whatnot system. When I charged shipping order, it was 38 cents, but it took an adjustment. I would rather have been charged the cents. Yeah, Nisi, you have to look at when you're using your adjustments. In my case, with free and reduced shipping, I just blow through them. But if you're doing buyer pays all, or you're doing like a reduced where you're more selective, you can look and see what that adjustment is and don't accept it. Like use your adjustments first and then go back and do that one. So sometimes you have to be strategic with it if you're trying to maximize the use of them. I don't even try. Yes, however, when I did dollar, I lost big time. Just because, and I think I forgot saying this earlier, just because you do a dollar start doesn't mean you're going to make money and be successful. A dollar start is one piece of a larger puzzle. Okay, it is one tool in your toolbox. That is it. Because you do dollar starts doesn't mean you can bring crap. I'm not saying you bring crap items. I'm making a point. You can't bring crap items. You can't have bad lighting. Everything else still matters. Just doing a dollar start is not the secret sauce. It's part of a much larger picture. And here's the other thing, you got to bring quality items. People do their leftover show at dollar starts and be like, I lost money. Nobody bid anything up. Well, of course they didn't. You brought all your crap. You brought the stuff that nobody wanted to begin with. And then you expect people to bid it up. I mean, so you have to think about it. Good morning, Queen Flamingo. It is one piece of this big puzzle. Your lighting has to be good. Your engagement has to be good. Your experience that people are having, the quality, everything, your shipping, all of that comes together. I don't know what you're saying to me. I can't. Okay. Took me 2 years to get to a consistent 50 people. Yep. And so there was a ton of people above who was like, I want 20, I want 20. I saw all of you. I didn't say it, but I saw all of you. Yes. You need a scale. I'm going to go ahead and sell something in a second here. Let's do, you do need a scale. 100% without a doubt before you sell, get a scale. That is vital because everything is based on weight. You have to have a scale. The label printer could come later. Is it a great tool? Is it going to change things for you? A thermal printer? Highly recommend that be one of the first purchases as soon as you can afford to do so. But you don't need a label printer to start, a thermal printer. You brought your crap, no one wants. There you go. We are going to sell a few things. I'm going to do some dollar starts here. We are doing $4.50. And again, I explained the reason we do $4.50 here is because I'm only going to sell 5 items. Everything behind me is going to sell today. Not that big, not that one. I should have moved that out of the way. But we're going to start with this guy here. All right. It's getting caught on my thing. Look at this. Amber glass. Beautiful. Love the design on here. Absolutely gorgeous. Pedestal base. Ruffle top. Stands about 6 inches tall. Thank you, Southern Charm. We're going to go ahead and run this one. Let's see if I can get it set up. We're going to run this for $1. So let's do it for $1. 10-second, 5-second restart. Running right now. No chips or cracks. Mint condition. Beautiful piece. Crap. Mamas, I need you to message me these shirt designs. I will make them. Fenton Rose. Thank you, the Glass Granny. Here's the other thing. When I do dollar starts, I don't focus on the value of the item. Resale Roost, congratulations. Thank you so much. We're going to sell one more thing before we get back to talking. I got a few more myths. Here's the thing. I don't know how much these things should go for. Because if I know exactly what this is and how much it should go for, that gets in my head. And then I get really caught up, and doing a dollar start when you know something should go really high is it's emotionally difficult to deal with. Now, for my Saturday shows, higher quality items, I do minimal research so that I can talk about them a little bit. These shows, nope, It's up to you to know what it is. And if you know it and you want to grab a great deal, you get a great deal. When you sourced it, what did I think I would get for this one? I don't remember when I got this one, what I thought I would get for it. Actually, I think I got this from one of my vendors. I do have a vendor. We call him the International Man of Mystery, where I have a really great sourcing arrangement. So I almost, with that vendor, I almost don't have to consider ultimate price. Okay. It was glass. Look at this one. Look at this carnival glass vase. Gorgeous. All of these beautiful fingers around the top. Perfect condition. Those colors are just shining off of there. I don't think this one glows. I have some other glowy, but no, there's no glow on this guy. It is a stunning vase, though. I'm going to give you a measurement on it here. I'm going to show you the top. You can see all the way down in there. I'm going to show you the bottom. Let's see. Is there a maker's mark? There is. I cannot see it. There is a maker's mark down there. Stunning. Now, I'm not going to tell you how much this is or how much I would think. Thank you so much for your purchase from the bin. This is 11 and a half inches tall. Thank you. 11 and a half inches tall. Absolutely stunning. I did zero research. I know based on experience. I have a ballpark in mind based on my experience. But when you're doing dollar starts, you put that aside. I'm going to run this right now, 10 seconds. It is going right now if you're interested in this gorgeous, gorgeous carnival vase. What did I say, 11 and a quarter, 11 and a half inches? Absolutely stunning. But part of the beauty of dollar starts, part of the freeing experience of this is that the audience, you determine the value. It's based on what you are willing to pay, not what I think you should pay me. I don't have to worry about it. Kimmy Manley, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Congratulations. That is gorgeous. And because I don't have a preconceived notion in my head, because I'm not stuck on getting 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever it may be, dollars out of this vase, I'm happy. I don't have to fake being happy if it's sold for $1. I don't have to fake being happy if it's sold for 20 or 50. This is part of the beauty. If you can wrap your head around it and step back and enjoy it, because I know that no matter what this sold for, over the course of the 5 items today, it's going to be a profitable show at the end of the day.
I equate it to when you are going to give a gift to someone, you don't think that you're going to lose the money on the gift by gifting it. You just go and purchase whatever you think is going to make that person happy. And the minute you start thinking, you know what, this is going to be a great deal for someone, that mentality of I lost is pretty much in the back of your head.
Now, I'm going to put the 2 people on the spot really quick in a second. I'm going to answer this question. The 2 people who just purchased, I'm going to put you on the spot in the kindest way possible. But first, how do you do this? Oh, the setup. Thank you so much. My husband does that. We don't run on a phone. We run on multiple cameras. So that's why we do. We run through computers and soundboards and all that stuff. Thank you for asking, though. We do it a little different. You do, if you're new, you do not have to do it that way. Your phone is sufficient. Just know your phone is sufficient.
If you have questions and you're interested, I'm always happy to help. And I'll put the, you can DM me. I'll put it in the box.
Here's another myth, and this is where I'm going to put my 2 buyers that just bought on the spot. Dollar Start attract cheap buyers. This is a myth. I've actually heard other sellers say you're devaluing your items, you're attracting cheap people by doing dollar starts. I am sure the 2 people who just bought from me do not consider themselves cheap buyers. I don't consider you a cheap buyer, so you know where I'm coming from. I don't consider you. Okay? I love discounts. I'm cheap. That is the biggest myth ever. That is so insulting to every single person on this app who would swipe on a dollar auction that they're considered cheap because they would swipe on a dollar auction. Why do they consider people cheap if they go to Target and go to the clearance rack?
Good morning,
or take advantage of a sale? It's the most insulting myth that I have ever heard, but you hear it. You're devaluing your items. You're cheapening them. No, you're not. You know who likes dollar start items? Almost everybody. But you know who else? New buyers. New buyers like dollar start items. As a seller, do you want new buyers? I do. Competitive bidders like dollar starts. Collectors like dollar starts. Dollar starts create higher engagement. Dollar starts helps that algorithm, gets that movement going in the algorithm. So that's another myth that Warren Buffett like. There you go, Warren Buffett like dollar starts. Millionaires like dollar starts. Kimmy says, if the start had been $20, I wouldn't have bid. Thank you. That's my point right there. It went for more than 20, but had it started at 20, the bid wouldn't even have started. That's the beauty right there. That like just sums up your low starts. More people pay penny slots in Vegas than the ones that start at 20. In a live person auction, people don't start bidding until they get under the $5 mark. They don't start really high. And here's another myth. Here's a good one. And this goes back to what Kimmy just said. Higher starting bids mean higher final price. How many people have heard people say this? You will hear people who are against dollar start say, oh, I can never do that. Higher starting bids gets me a higher price in the end. Not always. You probably won't have a bidding war. You're going to shrink down the people who are even going to bid to begin with. You're going to just eliminate a whole group of people who are like, yeah, nope, I'm not even going to start there. They know it. Yeah, exactly. I don't need to tell you. By me putting a price on something, $20, $30, whatever it is, I'm trying to tell you this is what you need to pay me. This is what this is worth. I don't need to tell you that because what I think it's worth is going to be far different. We've done this experiment. I've done it in my room numerous times. I'll bring something out and I'll say, okay, everybody, how much would you pay for this? It doesn't matter what the item is. The prices range from $2 to 20 or so. They're always all over the board. You will never decide a price that fits the majority of your buyers. You won't. If it's priced high, I'm Googling it to see if you can just go buy it on eBay. Why even try to bid it out, right? If anybody's ever been to a live auction, you will see they start at $50 and bring it down to $5. By the time it ends, they're back above. How many people? Just throw something in the chat. If you've run something for $10, it didn't sell. Later on in the show, you're like, okay, I'm going to start it for $5. And magically, it gets bid up to over the $10. Or replace those numbers with any numbers you want. That in itself, the fact that happens over and over and over and over again on this app supports your low and even pricing. You get emotionally invested. Yes. If you are just starting, go as low and even as you feel that you can go, as you are comfortable going. If low and even means $5, then it's $5. If it means $10 to you, then it's $10 to you. Low and even. Consider this though. It's pricing and shipping. They're intertwined with each other. If you have a $10 item on the screen and you're charging me, your starting bid is $8 and my shipping is $7, 8 and 7 is 15, but you have a $10 value item. Why would I buy that? Why am I willingly going to pay $5 more for something that doesn't hold that value? I haven't done my route. Are you even at a bid? I'm ready to go. I love discounts. Come on over. Y'all, I love discounts is coming. I get to see them tonight. I can't wait.
Tony, they're throwing you under the bus.
Here's the biggest myth of all. This is the one that we hear. We talked about this last night too, so you can go hear more on the podcast. Dollar starts only work if you have hundreds of people in your room. Dollar starts only work if you have hundreds of people in your room. I'm not big enough to do dollar starts. What you start as a new seller, you start as low and even as you can. So only you know your inventory. So whatever the lowest amount is that you are comfortable starting at. I'm going on 3 years. December will be 3 years for me. Are you preaching? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that question is being asked. I've been selling for vintage for over 20 years. Whatnot brings a lower bottom. It does. Shiny squirrel. Whatnot is a lower sales market in the sales price that you're going to get for the most part. That does not mean you cannot sell high-end on Whatnot. It is, you can be successful selling high-end on Whatnot. No, I do this part-time. I work full-time as a CPA. I work for a global accounting firm full-time. So, Whatnot, the market on Whatnot is not the market on eBay, because something sells for $100 on eBay does not mean it's going to sell for $100 here. It's two completely different markets. But you also flip it faster here. You're getting your money quicker here than holding it. There's cost involved in holding your item, sitting on a shelf, waiting for it to sell. There's time, space, and money that cost. So I'm avoiding that cost, selling it here at a lower price. This is another another concept. People say, okay, I'm going to start this at, let's just take two sellers, me and somebody else. We both buy an item for $10, okay? Same exact item. They list it for $20. They're like, I have to make double what I pay or else it's not worth my time. Go ahead. They listed at $20. I started at $1. More realistically, in my head, if I'm going to pay $10 for something, that should sell around $15 to $18. I sell it for $15 to $18 the next day in a show. They're sitting on their $20 item, showing it 2 or 3 times, sitting on it till they finally mark it down to 18 and sell it. We both just made the exact same amount of money, and I made it within 24 hours, and it took you 4 months. In the time that it's taken you to make that money, I've already bought and sold a bunch more items. You've got to consider, those of you holding your items, at what point, because you just want that top dollar and you want to squeeze every dime, are you still just making the same amount as you would have had you just listed it lower to begin with? I've been on here 3 years as well. When I first started, almost everybody did. Dollar starts are popular for a reason, because they work. I got into a major bidding war with one person. It does. Only takes 2 for a bidding war. Only takes 2 people in your room to have a bidding war. If I'm in a room with free shipping on jewelry, I stay and bid for hours. Do I need more jewelry? Nope. Do I always have a couple? Yep. I'm not jewelry, but there's vintage and other things that I'm the same way with. Yeah, no booth cost. Exactly. I also see lower value items sell higher here. There are certain, because while eBay demands higher prices because it's a sit and wait, we have the social aspect here. We have the experience here. It is far different being able to go into a room and chat and have people talk to you and talk to each other and see something and experience this. This adds value to the items that you're selling. So while we may not be getting eBay prices, just like the bird theory says, go to a House of Coop show, and I hold them out in the best example possible, because everybody says, well, House of Coop could sell a hen for $300 and I can't sell the same hen for $100. They're buying that experience. They're buying part of the notoriety of who they are. You can create that too. You have every opportunity to create that same experience and notoriety in your own unique way. So the bird theory is absolutely right. It's not just the item. It's part of that experience that can drive those prices up. You can't do that on eBay. You can't do that through a picture and a description. There is so much possibility here. And you start mixing that concept, that possibilities with your low starts and your reduced shipping. Go to all these people that you watch that you deem successful. I'm not talking, well, I could be talking about the ones that yell at you, but within your category, go watch them. What are the commonalities between these people that you deem successful? I can almost guarantee you that dollar starts is going to be one of those things that you find is a variable that most of them have adopted. I sold a 150-year-old Vaseline 13-inch Atterbury Dragon Skin. Oh my gosh, just the name of it sounds crazy and fantastic. Dollar sold for $25. Do the math. I hope that was good. I don't know what that is. It sounds fantastic. And depending on what you paid for it. Do you want notoriety? Come by. I'll call you my sweet tater. I want to be your sweet tater. Oh my God, yes. Oh, he wants to talk.
Now, the shiny squirrel, there's 2 with that statement. I think about it in 2 different angles. First one is, I'm not sure what your cost of goods was, and I don't know if you got your money back. And if you did and it was great, then awesome. But if you didn't, that would be considered a lost leader. That would be considered something that most likely is going to have someone come back to your show because they got a great deal. Okay, so you sold the other one for $225. His and her Chicago shop. I'm going to touch on that.
So you sold deodorant for $2.25 on Facebook. You sold it here for $25. Again, we are responsible for the items we bring. I don't do swung vases in every single show because I know I'm not going to get the same price as I can get if I were to put them on another platform. I'm selective on how many people are in the room, what the bidding is happening at the time, what the vibe is. So you also have to know your audience. You also have to consider your cost of goods. Heck, if you pay $2 for that and you sold it for 25, I'm happy. I don't need to sit on it to make 225. If I really want 225, then I'll go put it on the other platform. So you're in control of the products you bring. There's nothing saying that you have to bring the highest end products and take pennies for them. You don't have to do that. Here's in our Chicago shop. So I agree with the addiction behaviors here on Whatnot. I also believe that, and this is coming from a background. I worked as a CFO at a mental health facility for many years, so I do have some understanding of that side of it. Target's not responsible for my shopping behavior. Target doesn't put things in place to control my spending. Casinos don't put things in place to control spending. They have methods that you can self-elect into. Any other shopping platform does not limit me in my spending. That's on me. And I know addictions override logic and rational thought, and they take over. Me as a seller, though, and I'm not being disrespectful to people because I know shopping addictions are a legitimate thing. It's not my responsibility to curb somebody else's shopping addiction. It's not my responsibility to price things high enough to help ease somebody else's shopping addiction. That's not why I'm in business. I am here to sell. Now, am I going to try purposely to exploit that? No, I'm not going to be messaging somebody I know with an addiction saying, come to my show, come see this, and try to exploit it. But I also do not need to design my business in a way to curb that. It's not my responsibility. Okay, let's see. Here's a good one. Here's another myth. Actually, Whatnot does have safeguards in place. And they did it because of the gambling, and they got sued. They actually did it as a precautionary measure to ward off having to pay a bunch in a lawsuit. I actually don't agree with them. I don't think it's the platform's responsibility to curb spending. Whatnot did it as, what's the term I always use? I forget the term I use. But they did it in order to avoid paying a lot of money. As a buying addict, the dollar store sellers are not the problem. Neither is Dollar Tree, the clearance section, the yards. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate that support. I appreciate it. Yeah, I get it. And we have to stand on, so we all have to get to where we feel our line is and stay true to ourselves. I love the spending limits. The only way I stay on the app. And yet they have these new upgrades that are gaming focused to get more people. They're gamifying it, but it's not gambling. Gamifying and gambling are really two different concepts.
They're more geared towards keeping you in the app engaged, trying to complete the challenges so you don't leave the app because it's not particular to one show.
Did you? Scuba. Here's another myth, you guys. You can't sell quality inventory with dollar starts. You can't sell quality stuff with the dollar start. That's a myth. I've sold Fenton. I've sold uranium glass. I've sold swung vases, pottery. I've sold sterling. You can sell whatever you want with the dollar start. The higher quality, the higher the bids are going to go. The people in your room are smart people. They know the value of something. They know how much they want to pay for it. I actually feel the complete opposite. That's why I've designed my Saturday shows as much as I can. And my whole goal is to bring the best quality that I can bring on Saturdays, the most unique and the best quality that I possibly can source because it creates a higher average order value. Yep, whatever your comfort level allows. Now let's talk about your comfort level because here's the other thing. I spent too much money on it. I could never start something for $1. It cost me more than that to buy it. Probably did. It probably cost you more than $1 to buy whatever it is you have. I'm going to get to why the thinking here in a second. I spent a lot of time in the app, modding, planning, raid trains. It doesn't mean Yeah, it doesn't mean that you're spending a lot of this is just entertainment. It replaced TV. I listen to it in the car as the radio. I stick it, put my phone on the stand, turn a show on, and just listen while I drive. I hit all the whatnot point challenges this morning watching your show, except for purchasing, and we were promoted. You can purchase if you want. No, I'm just joking. Serial hobbyist. I'm messing with you. Um, okay, understanding. You did. Thank you. Understanding your margins, your numbers before you do any of this. I've said this already in different ways. You have to understand your numbers. So when you hear, "Oh, I can't sell quality inventory because I spent too much money on my inventory," I can't sell something I paid $40 for. I can't sell it started at $1 because I paid $40. I've already lost $39 just starting it at $1. That's not necessarily true. You have to understand two key numbers you really, really need to understand amongst others, but these are two key ones. Your average order value. If you were to look back at the last 3 months of shows, what is your average order value? Do your things sell for $3, $20, $30? What is the average order value? Then look back at 3 months of spending. What is your average acquisition cost, your cost per item? So if you looked at all the items you bought, the total number of items, and you took the total dollars, you divided that, what are you spending? What's the spread? If my average order value is $18, $20 and my average cost is $3, I'm pretty darn comfortable starting things at $1, and I can spend a whole variety of prices, like when I'm purchasing it, because I know my average cost is around $3 or $5 or whatever it may be. If you understand those two numbers, it makes you really comfortable in starting dollar starts because you know that you have a spread. Now, if you don't have a spread, if you average your cost to buy is around $3 and everything's selling at $5, well, maybe you need to get your average order up a little bit more before you start trying to go into other tools or get your sourcing down, one or the other.
I be Dusty. Welcome in. And if you missed part of the show, you can always rewatch it for free on our YouTube channel.
So when I say numbers, it's really understanding that when I pick up something, one of my questions is, am I comfortable starting this at $1? If I'm not, then one, whatnot's not the place for me to sell it. Then it's maybe, do I go to another platform? Or it's no, I just don't buy the item. If I go and see a gorgeous swung vase and it cost me $70, and I look at it, I'm like, okay, it's gorgeous. Could I get, what do I reasonably expect to get? If the answer is 75 or 80, I'm like, is that really enough of a spread for me? Probably not. But what if it's a gorgeous bittersweet and I get 300? Absolutely. It's a no-brainer. So you have to understand that when you're sourcing. And you can do that on an individual item basis, or you could look across at a big lot of stuff. You could look at a whole estate buyout and say, all right, about 40, 50% of this stuff I expect to go in the $15 range. If I'm looking at the price that I'm going to pay for this, yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to buy it. So it's the same concept, whether you're buying individual items or big groups of items. You have to understand what your average order value is. And that's why I go back to knowing your numbers. And so many people on this app, and I know this because of the questions I get, don't look at their numbers. They don't know how to get to the analytics screen. They don't know how to understand it, or they just don't ever want to take the time to do it, or they're so scared of facing the reality of what their numbers look like that they avoid doing it. So if you've not begun getting the bidding wars yet and you have the history, how do you know what to expect? And Crystal, so this is where I say you shouldn't do dollar starts. I mean, I know you, and I think you're at a dollar start position. But if you're brand new, that's why I say don't do dollar starts when you first start. You need to establish some history. You need to have some basis, some baseline, some numbers, something to make some decisions off of. And y'all, we make bad decisions all the time. I look at my numbers, make a decision, test it out, and be like, reevaluate. Okay, maybe I need to tweak it, or maybe that was good, and I keep going. You want me to sell that? All right, here. Talking about swung vases, let's do one. Does this one glow? Y'all, you guys want a swung vase today? So let's bust the myth that you can't sell nice things for $1. Let's bust that myth. Let's do this vase. Look at this beauty, you guys. $4.50 shipping. I do want to show this up close. There's an imperfection in the glass. It's not a call out. It's in the glass, and I will show you up close. Let me show you that first. This is a stunning swung base. See that right there? That is nice and smooth. It is within the glass. So it's not a chip, it's not a crack. It is part of when it was made. There's a couple tiny little bubbles. It is a beautiful, beautiful swung vase. We're going to give you a measurement here. 19 and a quarter. 19 and a quarter inches tall. Can you see the glow? Why is it not? Oh, it's glowing on my side. It's not coming across on the camera. I don't know why. It has a murky green to it.
Oh,
is it because you've got the green screen on?
yes.
Hold on. Let him turn the green screen off so we can actually see the glow. There you go. So it does have a nice glow. It's murky. It's the blue murky. Comes across. All right, guys, let's run it. Let's bust the myth that we can't sell nice things for $1. We're going to go ahead and do this for 15 seconds because it just needs a little more time to appreciate the beauty of this one. 15 seconds with the 5-second restart. If you like a gorgeous 19 and a quarter inch swung vase, there you go. Running right now. It is a beauty, isn't it? This is gorgeous. Thank you so much for your bids.
No local pickup.
Has a little bit of glow. I never turn on local pickup. Thank you so much for your bids. Swamp Chick, congratulations. That one's heading to you.
Thank you.
Y'all, this is the second one in 2 weeks. I'm going to get good at packing these things. Thank you, Swamp Chick. It's not going to fit here. It can't fit up there on the top. So you can sell nice things for $1 and you could be happy about it. And do you know what? Swamp Chick is like, oh, I just got a great deal. I'm loving that. I'm going to come back and see if she has any more. Good morning. Keep missing with the summer days off. Oh, good morning, Livy. I was late and might have missed this. And I'm most worried about having followers before I start selling. You are, absolutely. Do not worry about followers. Do I like followers? Yeah, followers are good. But followers is a leftover mentality from all the other social media sites. You don't need followers. You need buyers. Followers will happen organically. People come in your room. Whatnot is already pushing it. It pops up on the bottom of the screen. Follow this seller. Follow this seller. That's going to happen organically. Focus on doing your show, doing it well, bringing quality items, being consistent over and over again. Your followers will just happen organically. You don't need to concentrate on getting followers. What is K-Pot? K-Pot. In your show settings, do you turn on I do not. I do not turn on verified buyer because I believe that is a barrier to buying. My theory is to remove as many barriers to buying and make it as easy for anybody that comes into my room to purchase. And I think verified buyers adds a barrier that I don't want my room to have to face.
Rebecca, when you start, Whatnot used to push the first show, so you will probably have a small audience, or if they push it good, you probably have a good audience. But then the subsequent shows may not be the case. Now, everybody started with nobody. Believe me, she started with probably 3 people, and sometimes there was none. It was just her.
Yep. What he said. Let me go back. No, I don't do local pickup. I live in the middle of the country. There's not a lot of people around me. I also don't want to have to add something else to my schedule. I work full time. I do Whatnot full time. I have a teenager that I tote all over the place. I don't want to have to add another thing to my schedule. And I don't feel that has impeded me at all. What do you recommend for start price for first show to start building a following? As low as you possibly can go. As low as you are comfortable with. There's not a magic number, and there's not one that I can give you. It's as low as you are comfortable as a business owner and what makes sense for you. What are my thoughts on promoting? If you're talking about promoting using Whatnot, I am not for it. If that's the promoting you're talking about. I don't think it's beneficial. I don't think they can support their numbers that they give you. I don't see the benefits of it. However, that's my opinion. There are other people on here who have had completely different experiences with it. Promoting is one of those things that I say you should try at least once or twice. Go dig into the report they give you and then decide if that makes sense for your business. I've been pricing items 3 to 4 above what I paid to get prices as low so I can drive bidding wars. Things are selling, but no wars. There's no wars because they're already selling at the top dollar. They're already selling high. That's why there's no wars. Drop it down and you'll get bidding wars. I wouldn't raise prices. I would never say raise prices. I am go as low as you can go. That's how my point of view on things. I turned my verified buyer off since I heard you suggest that months ago. I have never had a problem with buyers. I have very, very low cancellations. There was a couple of there was a wave for a while there. There were a few bot purchases, but I've never had an issue where I felt the verified buyers was a necessity in my business. Kimmy says, I love going into new seller show with 10 people. So many times I get things at starting bids, so that scares me to do your first show. Is there a concept that people will go into first or newer sellers because they're selling low and try to get all their stuff? Yeah, there absolutely is. Is that part of your acquisition cost? Are they going to come back to you? Probably yes. So some of that is the advertising acquisition cost. Again, the higher quality items you have, it's driving the activity, the more people will come. Just because you do low starts doesn't mean you're successful. It is the overall package, the whole puzzle, not just one piece of the puzzle. And it takes time. Does it take time for you to build a puzzle? Do you take a puzzle box, dump it out, and it forms a complete pretty picture? Or do you have to place all these pieces in place, piece by piece? That's your business, okay? Dollar starts, shipping,
Mama,
lighting.
you're slacking. You should be doing those t-shirts already.
Mama, please DM me these thoughts because I will not remember them, and I am totally serious that I am going to make t-shirts with these sayings. Let's see. Rebecca had a question that I'm missing. Where is it? I'll get there. Sorry for my very first show. Do you suggest I do dollar starts on my semi? No, I never suggest dollar starts on your first show. I would suggest a low, even number, but not dollar starts. You need to understand your numbers first before you go that low. Now, I'm unique in that opinion. Go watch a Reselling Roundtable. You'll hear other opinions on that. Why not local pickup? We have a commercial building they would pick up at. For you, it may work for you. Yeah, local pickup is just not what I do because I'm out in the country and I'm too busy. I have too much other stuff going on for me to allot time for local pickup. But if you have a place or a police station close to you or somewhere safe and you have the time to accommodate that, it may work perfect for you. It's just not a decision that works for my business. Okay, trying to see if I missed any other questions, trying to catch up. Let's see. How about this myth? Here's a really good myth. We need a Walgreens for pickup. We need a Walgreens for pickup. I'm not sure. I remember Walgreens. Oh, it's a safe place. Oh, okay. A Walmart. You become a storage. People don't, there you go, right there. Dragonfly, that's another good point. I don't want to hold that stuff. I want to get it out. Yep. How can you get more people in your show? Tanya's. Consistency, commitment, discipline, and integrity, the 4 cornerstones of business. You do those things. Consistent. Same time, same day, every week. Don't reschedule. I don't care what people on this app tell you. Everybody says, oh, put some shows out there. You can change them around. No, don't change them. Be there when you say you're going to be there. When your buyers can count on you being there over and over and over again. Then when they get there, give them a really good experience. Engage with them. Talk to the people in your room. Bring quality items. And then once they sell, follow through with really good packaging, timely shipping. Give them the full experience. If you do that consistently over and over and over again, your room will grow. Now, how fast is it going to grow? Depends on you. Some people are super charismatic and their rooms just blow up. The other ones, like me, I'm here, that's me, take a long time. It took me a good year to get more than 10 people in my room. For my shows, I get lots of bookmarks, not pre-bids when I go live. Do I prioritize bookmarks items over the order? No, you run the show in the order that you determine best. There is a reason that you place your items in the order you do, right? I hope so. There should be. Run them in your order. Now, if you want to switch something around, you want to do a request, feel free to do it. It's your show. But the order you run, You are creating an experience. Think about this. You are leading people through a journey in your room. You're the driver of the boat, the car, whatever vehicle you want to be in. You control that. Do you want to build up to this big crescendo moment and then kind of come down? Do you want to hit them hard with the banger, catch them, and then do some mid-range items and then hit them hard again with another banger? What is the experience that you're creating? You design that with the flow of your items and the speed and the pace and the timing of your auctions. You're creating this masterpiece.
Tonia's Vintage Shop. I would ask, what do you bring into your show that will make people want to come and stay? What is it that you're offering? And if you're not sure, would you be willing to rewatch your shows to see what can be improved? To see if there's anything that is amiss?
So Eye for Beauty, over 100 people viewing, and that Dollar Start 19-inch swung vase only sold for $50. It sure did. And you know what? I made money. I made a profit on it. You know what else I made? I made Swamp Chick happy. I made Swamp Chick probably a repeat buyer. I made everybody else in the room be like, damn, that was a good deal. Maybe I should come back and see if I can get a good deal too. I just gained a whole lot by selling that swung vase. A whole lot. So much so that we're gonna sell a couple more items here. Don't go nowhere. We only have 2 items we're gonna sell. I think we're down to our last 3 things today. Let's do another glower real quick. Look at these gorgeous ones that glow. I don't even need to turn the light off. So you're gonna get 2. It's a twofer. We're gonna run a twofer here. Can you switch the camera for me, please? Let's move my mouse out of the way. We have this beautiful, has the gold paint, a tiny bit of wear, consistent with age, nappy dish. Love the pattern. Look at the hearts. It's a love dish. It's a love dish. And you're going to get a little matching guy over here. Stunning. Beautiful. Let's check out the glow. Look at that glow. You're going to get both of them. You can see the glow. I mean, we still have lights on, but it's glowing enough with the lights. Running right now. Up and going. You're going to get both pieces. No chips or cracks. They are in wonderful shape. Livy, yes, you got to think about all the benefits that come with a sale. It's not always financial. While we're here to make a profit, and you should always protect your profit as much as you can, it's not always a financial benefit or gain that you get. And sometimes having other gains could be pay more in long term than the immediate sale is going to pay you right then. Collected home market, and that's a first purchase. Can everybody throw some ducks in the chat, please?
Thank you for your first purchase.
Thank you so much. I'm not going to set those on top of each other. You know what? Let's do 3. I was going to do separate, but we're not selling it. We're just going to go for it. Let's do all 3 pieces. Instead of a twofer, let's do a threefer. We have a love theme going on today. We are in love. We are in love with our dollar starts and free shipping. We're doing $4.50 shipping though. But come tomorrow for free. Look at the hearts on this guy. Ruffle top. Pressed glass look. I don't know if it's true pressed glass. It is a pressed glass look. 7 inches. And you're going to get two of the cuties. These are heavy glass. I love these. They're not glowers, but they are gorgeous. And they'll fit within any decor. Running right now, all 3 pieces. We sold this one earlier, Swamp Chick. Thank you so much for your bids. You're going to get all 3 of those. Here's the other thing. I love to bundle. Y'all, if you don't bundle, if you separate everything onto onesies, if you're trying to get to your 1,000, I get it. S. White, congratulations. Thank you so much. If you separate out everything into onesies because you're trying to get to your 1,000, I can kind of understand that. But once you hit that 1,000, give people a deal. The more you bundle, the more it's worth. Particularly if you have items that are a little bit lower value. If they're going to go for $1, if you're going to start at $1 and it's like and I think it's going to go for $1 or $2, put it with a couple other things, 1 or 2 other things, and it automatically increases the value. There's not one person in here who can't say, if I see 1 item versus 2 or 3, I'm going to value the 2 or 3 items a little bit higher than I'm going to value the individual item, right? It's like a kid. You can offer a kid 1 quarter or 2 pennies, and a kid's going to take them damn 2 pennies every single time because 2 is better than 1, right? I would never say that, Southern Charm. I have recognized business structure between my brick and mortar and whatnot. Hugely different. Hugely. Now, High Street Emporium, the application is different. The business theory that underlines selling is really a lot of the same stuff. Most of what I talk about comes from a brick and mortar theory perspective that has been tweaked to fit this platform. K-pop, how do you set up your show inventory so it runs in the order you want? Do you have to edit that once it's active or edit? If you're pre-listing, so I'm assuming you're pre-listing. When you pre-list, put your numbers in front. Whatnot will order by alphabetical order or numeric if you do like 001, 002. So when you pre-list, number them in the way you want them, like when you upload them. So when if you use a CSV file, it's the easiest way because before you upload it, you can number them that way. It's really easy to number them. This is a shirt for the ones who only listen to half of what you say. Okay. Please, 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 Mama, please message me, please. I am going to have these shirts. Like, you are opening my mind to a whole new product line at this moment. Pricing. Oh, absolutely. High Street Emporium. Pricing, the expectations. You will probably not get here what you get in your brick and mortar. Probably not. Unless you take a boutique approach here. You take a boutique approach, you're going to sit on items a lot longer. Your turnover is going to be a lot slower, but you probably can sell it a little bit higher through more of a marketplace or waiting for the right buyer to come in your room. So you're going to be showing that same item over and over again. I also want you to consider this. If you are a boutique person, there's nothing wrong with that if that's the business model you have chosen. But if you are a boutique approach where you're like, I am waiting for the right buyer for this item, I'm not dropping my price, this is the price I want, you may have to show that item 5, 6, 7 shows. How many times you as a buyer are going to go into the same show and see the same inventory before you maybe skip that thumbnail? Think about that. You have to, if you're going to be boutique, you have to have enough of a rotation so that people don't get bored seeing the same thing again, waiting for the right buyer to come along. There's a lot to think about from that model. It's a boutique model on whatnot is probably a lot harder than just your random poll, your pre-listed selling everything at lower cost. I think it depends on the item. Some I get way more on whatnot. Certain ones can't. Whatnot is actually, to a certain extent, a trendsetter. B-boxes were popular here before they were popular in the outside world. So there are things that you can get higher here before they hit the other markets.
House of Duke, no, Whatnot puts a limit to the 30 seconds, and that's all you get. We tried even a little bit past the 30-second mark, and it won't publish.
Yeah, I'm trying. Somebody asked me the other day, like the last show, about how to do the videos that they see. So the only thing I can find is on an individual item, you can add a video, 30-second video. And then on your For You page, those are the videos that show up from other people. If you click on it, it takes you to the item. I did 2. I haven't seen them yet. I keep looking. I'm trying to figure out the whole video thing. There's not a lot in help.whatnot.com on it. I'm trying to wrap my head around all of it. Do you choose the amount of time your show runs? The average. Do you choose the amount of time your show runs? It's toward the average show. I'm trying to decipher. I run my shows. My thinking on the time your show runs, best average show time. Thank you. You should have some idea in your head how long you want your show to run. There is a lot of train of thought that anything over 2 hours is a magic mark. Thank you for your purchase from the bin. There's a lot of train of thought that if you hit 2 hours, that's a magic mark where people flood in your room. I don't care about that. I care about the items I have and designing my show flow. I'm going to design my show around what I'm bringing and the experience I want to create. Before you do a show, you should have some time frame in mind. I know if I'm bringing 60 items, that's about an hour to an hour and 15-minute show. If I'm bringing 100 items, I'm upward of, closer to 2 hour show. So I already know about how long I'm going to be on before my show even starts. Maybe it's not, maybe you're like, okay, I'm just going to do this for an hour. I'm going to show everything as many times as it takes to fill an hour. But you should design that based on what you're selling, the experience you're creating, how much you can ship. How many items you're bringing depends on how much you can ship. Don't design that based on somebody else says you need to be on for so long. If you're the type of person who has enough inventory and enough shipping support to do a 5-hour show and sell 500 things, go for it if that fits your style and fits the experience you're creating. But that should be dictated by you, not by what anybody else has to say about it. How can you sell all items in the auction preload for the same auction time runs? 10 seconds for all versus 30 seconds. Once you set it on your first item, it should just carry through to all the rest of your items. So the first time you run an auction, you pick your time and your reset time, and then it just carries through unless you change it. Yeah, it's Magic House. It's easy, particularly when you're new, because it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a good show. I think we've all been here. I think every seller at some point has been here. Put something in the chat if this has happened to you. You're having a show. For some reason, there's requests galore. You're selling everything. It's wonderful. And you're like, yeah. And you're seeing dollar signs floating around your head. And you're like, yep, this is good. And you keep selling, you keep selling, you keep selling. And then after the show, you're like, oh shit. How am I going to get all this shipped in 2 days? How is this even possible? We have all made this mistake at least once. And then we learn there's a time where I need to stop. I don't care how much money I'm making. I don't care how great my show's going. There's a time that I need to cut it off, or I'm just going to ruin the experience on the back end because things are going to go out late, or I'm going to be rushing and maybe not packing as good because I'm trying to rush. We got to know our limits. We all do it. It's happened to every single seller at some point in time. What is the vase on the top? That is actually, I don't want to sell it. That is actually like a home goods or something base. It's like a craft store base. So I'll run it if you guys want. I've had it forever. I'm happy to run it. It is not vintage. But if you guys are interested, you let me know. I've never sold it just because it's not vintage. It's part of my decor. My 1K got 7 raids and bought out the bin, was not ready for that. Yeah, you've got to be careful. I mean, not that you control. The only way you control it is by ending your show. And you know what, you guys? It's okay to leave people wanting more. It's okay to be in the middle of a really, really good show and to be, hey, everybody, thank you so much. We're going to go and raid today. I cannot wait to see you at my next show and whenever that is. Leave them wanting more. It's a cliffhanger. Who doesn't like a good cliffhanger?
Salty, absolutely 100% agree.
Before we wrap up, we're at time. I just want to make one last point that I had written down. When we're talking about dollar starts, free shipping, any pricing, let's just talk about any pricing. We have to quit asking ourselves, did that item sell too cheap, or what's that item selling for? It's not. Take away trying to squeeze out every single dime from it. You want to make a profit. Yes, I'm not saying don't make a profit, but we put so much focus on individual items. There's a lot of other things to take into consideration. What was my gross margin for the whole show? Not just that item. What's my average order value as a whole for this show, for the week, for the month? Did my buyers purchase multiple items? Am I gaining repeat buyers? There's so many other aspects that we need to look at our shows in addition to our profit. Profit is one metric out of many metrics. Did my inventory turn fast enough? What was my sell-through rate? If I brought 100 items and I sold 10, am I happy with that? What's my goal? How many items do I want to sell? Am I happy now moving 90 of those back to my shelf, bringing them back out again? So sell-through rate is the amount that you sell in a show. So the example I use, if I bring 100 items, I show you 100 items, and I sell 70 of those. That's a 70% sell-through rate. That means 30 items that I showed you, nobody wanted. I have to now put them back, bring them back out, photograph them, list them, do whatever I have to do with them. I go for 100% sell-through rate. The higher your sell-through rate is, the more conversions you're happening, more people coming in your room that are now becoming buyers. So you want the highest sell-through rate as you can. How many people want to bring a show and then put half their stuff back, only to bring it out again? Not really, unless you're boutique and you want to go hold out for the highest price. If it's one price for shipping, I will buy more than one item. Do you do that? Yeah, absolutely. This is why I say free shipping or reduced shipping. I removed items that I might value emotion about. Then selling is selling. Take the emotion out of business. Do not get caught up on those items. We get so attached. I talked about this with inventory. There's all these fallacies and these emotional attachments we have to our items. When you buy something, when you go and source something, most of us pick up an item that we go to source and we'll pick up an item and we'll say, oh, wow, I could sell this for $18. And maybe I'm paying, $5. That means I'm going to make $13. And we get so stuck on that $18 that we don't make smart decisions about the inventory. We don't make a smart decision about the pricing or how long we're going to hold it because we're so stuck on that $18 that we had in our head when we bought it. Well, 6 months later, is that still the same reality? Can you still expect to get $18? Obviously you can't, because if you could, you would have sold it. So we anchor ourselves in these numbers that are unrealistic because when we bought it, we have this grand notion. You got to get rid of that. That's going to hold you back. I actually don't mind putting my stuff back because I find the fun in restyling in a completely different way. And Livy, to me, that's more of a boutique seller. And that's okay if that's the business model you want. Let's kind of revisit when I talked about inventory last week. That inventory is cash sitting on your shelf. If you are okay with cash sitting on your shelf and moving cash from one area to another over and over again, then by all means, and if that's your business model, then that's okay if that's what you choose. I don't choose to do that. I choose a different model. I want to turn my cash over as fast as I can to buy new stuff. As a seller, if I say I'm not ready to sell something, but eventually I will detach from that item one day, yeah, and I do that. There's certain things I buy for me that ultimately become for sale.
You don't need a mod. It helps to control a little bit on if you have a troll or if you have a bot in your show, but it really doesn't do much. I mean, if you are able to pause yourself and make sure that if you have a raid, you shout it out, etc., a mod is really something that can help you, but it's not absolutely a must. And a mod is like me right now. I am modding for her show. So if someone comes in a raid, I can put them in the box. I can promote different items. I can pin different items. And that's what a mod does. It just helps you with the show.
So I'm going to leave you with just a question, a rhetorical question for you to think about before we go, because we are at time. If your goal, or is your goal, not if your, is your goal to maximize every individual item or maximize the profitability of the whole show? There isn't a right or wrong. It's two different approaches. You design your sales price, your shipping, your show based on what your goal is. So is your goal to maximize each individual item or maximize the profitability of the whole show? So I'm going to leave you with that as your thought to ponder. And y'all, thank you for being here. Thank you for those who bid, those who bought, those who lurked, those who talked in the chat. All of you, I genuinely appreciate it because I couldn't have a show if all of those things weren't happening. So we will be back on tonight with the workshop, setting up your reselling business. I hope to see most of you there. Who are we going to raid? Is Liz on?
Yes.
All right.
Like usual, I'm going to take you to Liz. We love her talks. So hopefully you have a great beginning of the week.
Thank you, Livy. Yes, please put ducks in the chat when we get there so she knows it's us.